Hello, Cancer, and welcome to 2026. So, this year may feel remarkably different for you because of the energy. So, you may feel like you're being thrust into the limelight, thrust into leadership positions. That's because your 10th house of career and public life is getting a major energetic shift. Now, I know you guys are symbolized by the crab. You are hard on the outside, soft on the inside, and you guys love to retreat within. However, beginning this year, it's time for you to take your place on the throne, to step out into the sun, and to start some new things career wise that will set you up for a bright future. So, if you want to know more, stick around. You definitely don't want to miss this. Hello, my loves. As always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If you're new around here, my name is Mel. I'm a professional astrologer and I'm the founder of Divine Feminine Works, where I help people unlock their divinity and discover their magic. So if you're new, welcome. And as always, if you are returning, welcome back. So today we're talking all about the astrology of 2026 for the sign of Cancer rising. Now, by way of logistics, I do all of my horoscopes traditionally, meaning that they're done by rising sign, not by sun sign. You can glean some information from this video if you are a Cancer sun, but this is really for Cancer rising. So you should definitely check out the video for your particular rising sign. And maybe, even if you're cross watching, you should watch the rising sign for your boo or your crush. No judgment. All right. But in any event, watch for your rising sign. I'll link the playlist link in the description box below so you can peruse all the rising signs and find which one is relevant to you. All right. So without further ado, let us jump right in. So, to begin, let us get into the core transits, which is essentially the major astrological events that are happening this year and how they are going to affect you personally. So, first and foremost, like I mentioned in the intro, you have a great emphasis on your 10th house of career and public life. That is because both Saturn and Neptune are going to be moving in there very early in the year. All right. So, as a matter of fact, at the time of filming this, Neptune is about to go into Aries in a week and a half, right? It's going into Aries at the end of January, and then Saturn is going to follow into Aries as well in mid February. So, we start off the year with this real energetic shift. Neptune was in its home sign of Pisces. Saturn was there too. So we were focusing all our energy inward. We were wrapping things up, wrapping up karmic cycles and all of that good stuff. And now, with both of these heavy hitter planets entering Aries, it's go time. It's about new structures, new dreams, and the work, right? And the visionary work. So, I want you to understand this. And if you haven't watched the general video, I'll link to that in the description box as well, although it's also part of the playlist. Saturn is all about structure. It's all about sort of the tangible physical work that we do to succeed and to move forward and to build things that last. Neptune is the vision, Neptune is the dream, it's the fantasy. And with both of them in Aries, it's about a new goal, like a new tangible earthly goal, as well as a new vision or a dream, like a spiritual ethereal dream, right? When you put these two together, you get this ability to handle your goals in alignment with universal law, which is as above, so below. So you create the vision and you create the dream ethereally, and then you do the work and form the habits and have the consistency tangibly here on earth. And this is a wonderful opportunity to start new things, particularly since this is all happening in the sign of Aries. Now, going back to you, this is happening in your 10th house of career. So, if you've been meaning to start that business, now would be the time to have the vision and then do the work to achieve it. If you're looking to change jobs, if you're looking to change your social standing, listen, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. This transit for you is great. Like if you're trying to be, let's say, an influencer, a content creator, if you want to start something new, anything that allows you to be seen, anything that allows you to flex your expertise, this is going to be the transit that's going to give you that boost. But keep in mind, what's most important is that it requires work, and that work is twofold. It's the tangible, structural, disciplined, habit forming work that you do on a regular basis. but it's also keeping the vision, which can arguably be sometimes harder. Because we know what work we need to do, even if we procrastinate or we don't do it. But when the going gets tough, sometimes it's really hard to keep that vision crystal clear. So, if you're looking to change anything on the career front, Saturn and Neptune are going to be your best friends. And keep in mind that this is a slow burn. Saturn is going to spend 2.5 to 3 years in Aries. Neptune is going to spend close to 14 years. So, don't expect this change to happen overnight. And as a matter of fact, that's not how Saturn works anyway. Saturn is a slow burn. Saturn is consistency. Saturn is long term goals. But we're setting that initial trajectory and we're starting the initial work right now at the beginning of 2026. So, the next astrological happening is Uranus is entering Gemini. And for you, this is happening in your 12th house. Now, I really love this for you because this is going to work in tandem with Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house. Now, like I said in the intro, y'all are the crabs. Hard on the outside, soft on the inside. And often you like to retreat into your soft and sacred space. Uranus in Gemini is going to help you tap into that in a way that's going to be conducive and helpful to these career and public and, job or whatever it is, goals that you're setting with Saturn and Neptune. So let me explain. Uranus in Gemini happening in your 12th house. This is the house of solitude. It is the house of spirituality. It's the house of your subconscious, your inner world. Uranus in Gemini is going to be shaking things up in this area of life for you, but it's going to give you keen insights and it's going to have your intuition on 100 at times. The only problem is it's going to feel like a wild horse that can't be tamed. That's the vision that's coming to mind right now. It's like your intuition may feel jittery, your nervous system may be dysregulated for a little bit, you may be feeling very electric on the inside. But the one piece of advice I have with Uranus entering Gemini, which is happening in April, working in tandem with Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house of Aries. Allow your intuition, no matter how weird, no matter how random, no matter how absurd your intuition may feel or seem at times, it's definitely helping to foster this newness, this new creative energy that's happening in your career sector. So keep in mind that that's going to be a thing. And Uranus spends about 8 years in a sign. So this is going to be periods and waves of erratic and electric energy. It's not like this is going to be something that happens overnight. All right. And that's the thing that I want to mention about the astrology for 2026. It's setting us up for the future, very long term, very long range. There are going to be these instances of things popping off, things and surprises happening. But the foundation that's being set right now is for the long term. So definitely keep that in mind. And then finally, one of the other major events of 2026 is that Jupiter is moving into Leo. Now, this isn't happening until July. So, the first half of the month, Jupiter is still in your first house and in your sign, and it's getting you to expand. It's helping with your personal development and your growth. Okay. I'm here. When I said growth, I almost wanted to say growth, like glow. You are expanding as a person. You're learning more about yourself. You're perhaps learning more about the world, and Jupiter is helping to foster that. And then come June, Jupiter is going to be moving into your money house, your second house of Leo. Now, as someone who has experienced Jupiter in my second house, I will say this. It's not necessarily just boilerplate, more money, more opportunities. It can be. However, Jupiter is going to exacerbate however your money situation is looking at the time. So if you've got a lot of debt, a lot of bills, your money situation all over the place, Jupiter is going to expand that. And so while it can be this really fortuitous, there are going to be more money making opportunities, especially with Saturn and Neptune going through your 10th house of career. More career opportunities may open up, which means that that second house of money is also going to open up as well. However, if your money house is not in order, Jupiter is only going to make that more apparent and bigger, and things can definitely snowball. So it behooves you to get your money matters squared away, to get you, doing what you need to do financially so that when Jupiter does exacerbate, it's not exacerbating a mess. And so you can take advantage of these opportunities that are coming your way. Now, the one thing that Jupiter in your money house of Leo is also going to do is that it's going to expand your creativity. It's going to expand your passions. And this could definitely feed into that Saturn and Neptune energy in your 10th house of Aries. Maybe the new career trajectory that you're taking has a lot to do with a creative endeavor or a passion or something having to do with children. But either way, it's going to be the sort of fun, lighthearted, creative energy that the universe wants you to really engage with that could really help move the needle when it comes to your career and your public life. So definitely take heed. All right. So now the other important aspects of the astrology for 2026 that I want to discuss is the eclipses. Now remember I said before, a lot of the transits that are happening this year are long range. Saturn is going to be in Aries for 3 years, Neptune in Aries for 14, Uranus in Gemini for 8. These are long-term transits. However, some of the short-term bursts of energy are all going to be thanks to the eclipses. Now, the eclipses are they're like sagas, they're like stories, right? And they have to do with wherever the north and south nodes are. And this year, the north and the south node are going to be changing. So we're kind of in between stories. So for you, one of the stories that's wrapping up is this story between Virgo and Pisces. Now, the axis of Virgo and Pisces has to do with service. It also has to do with sort of real life versus fantasy. And for you, Virgo is your third house and Pisces is your ninth house. So there is this story having to do with knowledge, with skills, and with relating to people, whether close by or far away, that's wrapping up. Well, at the same time, a new story is beginning between Aquarius and Leo. Now, Leo is your second house of personal finances, and Aquarius is your eighth house of shared resources and debt. So there's this learning story that's ending and this money story that is beginning for you. So the first eclipse is happening in Aquarius, and this is happening on February 17th. And this is happening in your eighth house of shared resources and debt. Now, this eclipse is a solar eclipse. So it's all about starting something new. So this could be incurring new debt, new investments, or new shared resources. Now, whatever it is that's new that's going to be facilitated at this eclipse, it's definitely something that's going to help you into the future. And it may have something to do with tech. So, because the universe tends to be really erratic at the time of eclipses, if in February you have the opportunity to invest in something tech and it comes kind of out of left field or surprisingly, you may want to research and perhaps get into it because that could be the universe's way of setting you up lovely for the future. Okay, then thereafter on March 3rd, we have a lunar eclipse in Virgo, which is your third house of ideas, communication, siblings, and your immediate vicinity, right? So something in your immediate vicinity could be wrapping up. There could be a cleanup of something in your community or neighborhood that's sort of wrapping up. Learning a specific skill could be wrapping up. So maybe you're getting a certification, maybe you're finishing a course. There could be something going on with your siblings as well that could be wrapping up at that time. But either way, the universe is kind of closing shop and sort of tying all the loose ends in a nice, pretty little bow. Then the second set of eclipses are happening in August. And the first of those is a solar eclipse in Leo, and this is happening on August 12th. And this is your second house of money, material possessions. Now, this is going to be a solar eclipse. So there's going to be a new money making activity, something perhaps that you're passionate about, that you love, maybe something that has to do with children. But there's going to be an opportunity to make new money, correct a money situation, a new income stream, a new job, even. So look out for that in the beginning of August. And then finally, the last eclipse of 2026 is happening in the sign of Pisces, which is your ninth house. And this is happening on August 28th. Okay. And this is a lunar eclipse in Pisces. So that Virgo Pisces story is literally going to be closing out at the end of August. So your ninth house is the house of expansion. So the eclipses have been trying to get you to expand your worldview, see the world more, travel more. There could have been relationships that are long distance, and there's a culmination when it comes to that. That's something that's just coming off the top of my head right now. But either way, that ninth house activity could really be coming to a close. It could also be, finally booking that trip or finally going on that trip, finally finishing higher education, right? You could be graduating from college, grad school, med school, law school. There could be a culmination there. And either way, that story is ending at that time. So, between February, March, and August of this year, we're going to have some erratic energy. We're going to have some pop-ups, some surprises, right? And again, it is closing out that learning story for you and yet beginning a new financial story for you this year. So, to recap, Cancer, this is what 2026 is going to look and feel like for you in a nutshell. Number one, there's going to be this push to sort of focus on your public life and your career thanks to Saturn and Neptune. So, it's a time to start something new, whether it's a new career move, a new business, anything that puts you out in the public eye. You're going to want to start to plant those seeds and start that work this year. You're going to have some help via Uranus in Gemini, which is going to help you organize things on the inside so that you can experience them externally on the outside. Now, it may feel like a roller coaster, it may feel erratic, but it's ultimately here to help you. There's a new money story that's beginning with you. Not only is Jupiter entering your second house of money, but we've got two eclipses in Leo and Aquarius this year, which is beginning a new money story for you. And at the same time, when it comes to learning specific skills, certifications, how you relate to people, or maybe even long distance travel or higher education, that story is now coming to a close. But either way, Cancer, this is the year where your public life becomes more important to you. It becomes the focus. And everything that you do this year is setting you up not only for a very robust public life, but can really help you set yourself up for the future monetarily. So take advantage of the energy. Now, if you want to know more about what 2026 has to offer, maybe this was cool, but maybe you need a little bit more. There's two different ways that you can work with me to do so. Number one, if you want to know the specific dates, the transits, and how best to use the energy, then you'll definitely want to cop my 2026 Rising Sign Map Cancer Edition. It gives you a PDF guide plus a video that goes a little more in depth than this, so you know exactly what to anticipate this year and how best to use the energy. That is going to be linked to the video and also linked in the description box below. But if you want to know, like if you want the premium experience of how 2026 is going to work for you, then sign up for my 2026 year ahead reading. We will go through the astrology of the year based around your natal chart from beginning to end. So you know what to anticipate, when to anticipate it. So you know exactly what your year is going to look like for you. And if you want to book that session, the link will also be in the description box below. Keep in mind, I only offer this reading until February. So spots are limited. So if you want to experience that, sign up sooner rather than later. All right. You definitely won't be disappointed. All right, my loves. Thank you so much for tuning in. I sincerely wish you nothing but the absolute best for 2026 and beyond. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care.